My name's Steffi, I'm 26, I'm from Surrey and I'm currently a project manager.
I'm Elaine, I'm Stephanie's mum. I'm 62 this month.
I was diagnosed when I was 18. I was just sat on the sofa at home one day and I said to my mum, I couldn't breathe, I felt breathless, just sat down. So my mum said, I think we should go to the doctors. I went to the doctors and they originally thought I had asthma, so gave me an asthma pump and gave me like this lung monitor to see if it was asthma. I went back maybe a couple of months later for an ECG, and at the ECG appointment they found something that obviously concerned them because they then booked in an echocardiogram. I had the echocardiogram and then they said, we need you to go up to the cardiology ward, and I was then waiting in the family room. So by this point I was in hysterics, crying my eyes out with my mum and my brother. The cardiologist did come into the room a bit later on and explained what cardiomyopathy was and that I had a version called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. It was very difficult, but my mind switched when I found out I had something and I would be staying in hospital, because I was of the mindset of I can't fight something that I can't control. Whilst I was there, I had visits from heart failure nurses, heart arrhythmia nurses, from local charities that didn't tend to have a lot of young people, but they were trying to get me involved. It was very lonely at the start, so while I was in hospital and just afterwards, because there was no one to talk to who was going through the same thing, and that can be very difficult, yeah.
They sent her for gene testing later, and when they did the gene testing they found that she obviously had this gene. They wanted to then test the rest of us. I went for the testing and they found that the gene had come from me. From my point of view, that was much worse than having the condition, because I feel guilty. Anytime she feels ill, I feel guilty. Anytime she says, I can't breathe, I can't do this, Mum, when we're just going for a walk, I feel it's my fault.
After the surgery, I lost my independence, My mum was washing my hair, I was sleeping on the sofa downstairs because I couldn't get comfortable in a bed. That was very hard, and adjusting to living with the ISD can be very difficult. The first things you sort of notice is friends can sometimes disappear because they're worried that you'd be out and something may happen, or they could be put in a weird position, or they don't understand. But then you get the other friends that want to know everything, even though you don't know it, and they're asking you and you're trying to explain that you don't know something about yourself. Symptoms are elevated by the weather, by the seasons, and this is something I personally like to talk about because it isn't mentioned as much.
What Stephanie didn't cover is the physical aspect of the operation. It left her with a very big scar, and also the device itself was quite frightening because you've had a big operation and then all they've told you is that it'll last probably between 5 to 7 years, the battery, and then you'd need the battery changing in another operation.
Since my diagnosis, I did an apprenticeship in project management. I also took up pageantry, so I compete in pageants. I've done one called Miss International and I'm currently doing another national one called Young European. It's given me such confidence, like I get on stage, I don't care now if my scar is out. None of the girls there judge me, and you do get a chance to speak for those who can't speak for themselves or to talk about something different. And the dresses are an added bonus. With something like this, I do think you realise life can be short and that you need to, if you want to do something, to try and just go and do it. Whereas before, I had that drive, but I didn't have the big motive behind doing it probably.
I'm proud of her for using it as a platform, really proud of her for that, and proud that she likes to try and help other people. What she didn't tell you that she's also taken up is she does do counselling for when she can, not obviously on a professional level, but she does it for other young people.
Myself and my mum, we're living proof you can live with this condition. Yeah, it is limiting and you do have to find your way around it, but if it did ever happen, we do have the knowledge to help other people, to pass on the knowledge. So I feel we're in a much better place now, knowing it's hereditary, than we were at the start. If I could give advice to someone with cardiomyopathy, it would be talk to people. There are people out there with your experience. Speak to them. There are positive experiences you can relate to rather than just all the negative ones you see. Don't go on the internet and search up for your condition. Go to the right places, such as Cardiomyopathy UK. And don't let it change your life. Let it adjust your life to something that works for you with the condition.